and welcome back to Olive Gray Avenue. I'm Ruth, this is Steve, and today we are going to be installing an in-wall doggy door. So we bought this Freedom Pet Pass doggy door. It's supposed to be energy efficient. It has a really nice insulated door, and it's gonna make things a lot easier for us to just have our dog be able to go outside. We're gonna be hiding it back in this little room, so you can't really see it in any other place of the house. But I think it'll turn out really well. So this is the door we're going to be installing. We're going to show you step by step. The Freedom Pet Pass people actually have a lot of really good videos that are step by step by step. Ours is going to be a little bit different because the outside of our house is brick. Hopefully it'll provide you with some other options for how you can put a dog door in your wall too. So let's get started. How tall are you, buddy?
Well, he's like 15.
Okay.
Go with 15.
15 plus 3
18.
will be 18. So this is the actual door that we're going to be using. It's a little bit different than a lot of the other designs I've seen. This is the exterior part. Whoa. It has a very strong magnet. This is like energy efficient, that part. So this doesn't come apart, and that was a little confusing to me at first. This is just like a slit that I guess these can go into. It was a little confusing to me, so we watched all the videos. So our wall is going to be much thicker than this. That's going to be one of the more difficult things, I guess, to overcome in installing this.
See, so it's from this point where the magnet stuck once to where the magnet stuck the next time is about
16 inches.
16 and a half, 17. So roughly in there. So the stud should be in this area, so we know to make a hole in here, and then we can kind of feel out to see where the other ones are and kind of mark out and get as close as we can, and then we'll line up the template with that stud and then draw out the rest and cut our hole out in a rough opening.
So I'm gonna take the measuring tape and measure up to 18 inches, which was the measurement we have, 15 inches, which is our dog's height, plus 3 inches, and that's where the top of this is going to be. So ours is going to be pretty low to the floor, which means we're going to be cutting through baseboard as well, and it'll just be right here at the bottom. So we have our rough opening cut. I didn't cut all the way to this line, just because it's just better to cut it short than long. So this is where we measured the height to be. It's gonna have to be higher because our dogs are smaller, and this is an exterior wall. There's a stud here that attaches the actual house to our foundation. So the bottom is supposed to be down here, but since this wood is taller, bottom's not going to be there. And on top of that, there's this large screw which anchors everything to our foundation. So that is going to have to be taller than we anticipated. Also, we have these lines. These are not electric. These are an internal pest control line. We looked up, they're okay to cut. They won't be functional, but we don't use them. So we're going to cut these and get rid of those.
So we went and cut all our lumber. We mainly used some scrap pieces of wood that we had in the garage from previous projects. Now what we want to do is dry fit them all in here. It doesn't have to be 100% super precise. You can have some small gaps because the door sits in here and you're going to insulate around it anyways. This is my sill risers at 1.5, so I know I can put that right in here. We need the sill, marked sill at 14. Here is the trimmer. This actually goes on the other side. We already have a wall here, but it's just to push up what we need to because the header actually sits on top of that as well. The headers go in here as well, right above this. And this is the part that started getting tricky, right? We're just kind of dry fitting it now. But after this, we actually have to properly secure them, which means we're going to need to start getting some screws in here. The cleats actually go above the header. These are going to be a little difficult because they have to be above. They actually go up here and this is what the header actually screws up into. So once this is here, header goes here, and it screws in this way. So everything fits that needs to. This doesn't have to fit specifically. It's just 7 inches for structural purposes so that it has enough to grab onto for this header. And everything else fits. Nothing's too small. It's not too big. We can move on to putting them in here. So we've gone ahead and pre-drilled the holes, pilot holes in our frame here, so we don't have to do too much work while we're in this little cramped space. The way we're gonna do it is, pretty simple. We'll build it in kind of the same way we did the dry fit, except there's a little bit of a difference. The way we want to do it, we'll put down our sills just on the edges here. We'll measure them out to make sure it's level when we put the sill on top, and if not, we have a couple shims we'll put in. Then we'll use our trimmer here on the side, which is actually, it's reversed. So on this side, and we'll put 1 screw in just to hold it in place so it doesn't tip all over. And then what we'll use, because you can't put the header and then try to put the cleat in, and you can't try to guess at how thick this is and try to do it in the dark because you won't really be able to see up in here. The way to do that is when you're gonna put your cleats in, you put the trimmer in, like I said, hold it in place. You use a scrap piece of wood and you put it in as a placeholder for the header. And then that gives you the distance, the clearance you need to put the cleat on top. You'll be able to go up in there and drive it in. And then after that's done, you take your trimmer off, you put the header in, and then you can screw it and secure it into the cleats. And once that's in, then you can bring your trimmer in and put it on the correct side that you need it to be on, and you've framed out your hole. Right now, we're going to cut the rest of this, go on up, hit that header, go across, hit the trimmer, and come down to make sure that we are nice and flush with it all the way down. Now we have our rough opening on the inside of the wall here, and we're exposing the brick that's the actual exterior wall of the house. What we're gonna do from here to start cutting the brick out is we're gonna use a drill with a masonry bit on it, and then we're gonna use these corners inside of the frame as a reference point to the outside so that we know where to cut the brick at without going too far out. We don't wanna get super close to that corner because if we're a little further away, it allows us to slowly and incrementally get closer to the edge to get flush like we did it on the inside here. You can see here where we have drilled through to the outside, lights coming in. You can see here where I started making a hole a little bit higher than I wanted to, so I had to stop and back up because the drill wouldn't actually fit. So as the drill's going, if it doesn't fit and you start angling it down, you may end up putting the hole on the outside a lot higher than you actually needed to. So better safe than sorry. Tone it down and bring it to the edges a little bit. The main purpose of the holes is really to see this center part, right? You can try to connect the holes top to bottom, from edge to edge. Just know that, hey, let's try to stay inside of those when we're cutting from the outside so that we have a reference, like I mentioned, of where this hole actually is. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking our masonry chisel here. It's about a 1/2 inch brick chisel, so it's exactly what this is for, breaking brick and things like that. And we're going to be just slowly, you're not trying to break the whole brick in one swing. I know I have to go in just a small amount, so I'm just taking little chips off, and I'm coming in, and I'm just giving it a nice firm tap, and then I move down to kind of create this bevel in here where I've hit it, and then I keep going up and down. And as I do that, I should make nice clean cuts all the way down because the brick won't break further down. So we're gonna do that all the way around. We're gonna take the mortar seat here off, and you don't really have to worry about if you go a little bit too low. You're not trying to get super flush, right? Because the door is actually gonna have a trim on it. Let's say you go a little too high. I think up here I'm not flush. I'm just a little too high by maybe 1/4 of an inch. The trim we're putting on the outside of the door will cover that. So just try to get it there. Don't aim for perfection or you'll be sitting here all day. Drywall.
There you go. Nope. Nope. Stop. There you go. That. And that is fine.
Action!
About what?